Hoshi's just overtaken Pepper as he reaches the water. He doesn't hesitate once. In fact, he powers through pretty quickly there, and it looks like he's going to do a good time, and he does. Is a course record for the water obstacle. Ginger is coming at a frightening rate right now, and she enters the water with the rest of them and then leaves it with just Hoshi ahead. And as she comes to the line, she takes it. And what an absolutely brilliant performance from the Brit. Either one of them can win the round with this victory, and it's looking like it's going to be Ginger's, and it is Ginger's. Ginger wins round 2, and she puts herself on the map for this season. Hello and welcome to League of Pigs. It's round 3, and as we hit the midway point, there's very little in it between the top 3 pigs. Piggy Smalls is the pig of note. He's had the most amount of wins, and he is looking very strong. That said, Ginger is starting to overcome her fear of the water, and Hoshi is certainly looking dangerous through most of these races, so it's far from a foregone conclusion. Anyway, enough with that context. Let's head over to race 1. The first race begins, and they all get good starts apart from Piggy Smalls, who takes a while to get out of his handicap, but Ginger takes over from Pepper for the lead here as they approach the water hurdle, and none of them hesitate either, including Hoshi, who's right on her tail, and Piggy Smalls has done well to keep up, and Ginger gets the record in the first race of this round, and it sets the tone for this round as well. Ginger has to get a record in order to win. Hoshi was on her tail the whole way down, and Piggy Smalls did fantastically well to come back from so far behind and claim the last podium position. You can tell that these three have got it on them today. They're going to battle it out. I can't see them making room for any of the other pigs at all now, as the stakes get higher for this competition. So they all start fantastically well. Pepper takes one look at the dry pool and decides to lodge a request with the hosepipe operator, who almost immediately capitulates, and Hoshi and Bear run over. Meanwhile, Pepper thanks the hosepipe operator for being so prompt and waddles over to the pool. You can see that Piggy Smalls didn't enjoy it, but everybody else seems to. Hoshi in particular loves the water. That should be no surprise to anyone if you see him in the races. But he's also very unhelpful when it comes to positioning for Pepper to take a drink. And so she has to choose the highest point in the pool to get access to that water. Hoshi slips, and he's done that a few times before. He should know better, really. As you can see, they're enjoying what must be to them magical rain. Anyway, let's head over to race 2. The pin's pulled and Pepper gets a good start, and so does Bear as they approach the first 8-inch hurdle, but now it's all Bear's as Pepper falls back, and Bear's going to need to clean this next one nicely, and she does, and she's going to cross the line all by herself. Hoshi gets second. He's going to welcome the 7 points, especially now that Ginger and Smalls have come in 4th and 5th, never managing to really recover from that handicap. I feel a bit sorry for them, but they have to do better on this handicap. They can both go round it quicker than they did do on that race. Meanwhile, Pepper gets 3rd. She'll like that as well. Bear does particularly well over these 8-inch hurdles, I've noticed. And if we are to pull something good out of Bear's performance so far, it's that she's won more races up until this point than she did in the whole of the previous season. So there's something positive there. We join Ginger behind the racing paddock, and she takes one look at the cameraman and decides that she's not in the mood for press today, and scarpers across the field. And it's the first time Ginger's ever been over a ploughed field, and I think she instantly regrets running over it, as it's very difficult terrain for a pig of this size. And she now negotiates this rough landscape, and she's got a choice to make now. Which is the lesser of two evils? The ploughed field or the cameraman? And I think the result of that is that the cameraman is slightly better than that rough terrain. And so she unenthusiastically heads back over to the cameras. And with that, we're going to head over to the next race. The door drops down and Hoshi and Pepper get good starts. Pepper gets the best one as they approach the first hurdle. She slows down a bit, and now it's tied with Hoshi as they approach the water. Hoshi doesn't hesitate once. In fact, he drives through that water very quickly, and it looks like he's going to set a very good time. He does. It's not a course record like in race 1, but it isn't far off the pace either. And Japan and Hoshi are just flying under the radar a bit here. They're taking advantage of the handicap situation, but also Oinku is doing solid performances from the start of this season, rarely coming off podium spots, often coming second. And that means that we're not really focusing on him, but he is scoring those 7 points, those 5 points, a lot. And if you look at him through the water, there's an argument to say that he's the quickest through the water because he drives through it with real power. It's a great performance from Japan. What we're seeing here is something that Piggy Smalls does a lot, and we call it the Smalls snatch. And it's basically when you carry a plant around in your mouth as you transit to a new area of grass. As a pig, one of the biggest problems you face when you're walking is your inability to eat more grass, as it requires you to stop. And the Smalls snatch is the answer to that problem. Anyway, that's enough with that. Let's head over to the next race. The race begins. All get decent starts apart from Bear. Piggy Smalls was at the front, but now Ginger takes over as they go for the first hurdle. And now it's just the big three, Hoshi, Ginger and Smalls here as they go for the second one. And Ginger's still keeping the lead all the way to the end. And Ginger has that little bit extra right now that means that she closes these races out. Hoshi must be under strict orders from Japan to never finish less than second. If he's not going to win it, he has to get second, because that definitely is the strategy that he's done in these first 4 races. Piggy Smalls, if we're being honest, needed to score more points in that race. He's starting to slip back a little now, but it's been a great performance, especially by Ginger. Pepper Sanchez with that confident strut that she seems to have developed after winning season 3, and who can blame her in fairness? It was an extremely impressive performance by Pepper. She's not been that bothered this week about the YouTube call to action. She's made no comment there, but a reminder of the league's official position, which is to subscribe if you really enjoy the League of Pigs. Race 5 begins, and it's Pepper, Bear and Hoshi with good starts here. Pepper pulls forward though as they approach the first. Now she drops back and it's just Hoshi and Bear as they get to the water. Of course Hoshi doesn't slow down and he drives straight forward, and I think he's going to win this as well, and he does in a quicker time than he did last time. And he's so close to that record Ginger set. Japan are really starting to execute whatever strategy they've got, because they are not dropping out of the top 2 positions. Yes, they're taking advantage of the handicap situation, but they are still putting in a sterling performance. Do not mistake that. Ginger is certainly worth a mention as she gets second from 4th, and also Smalls manages to get another podium position from so far back. Now, those of you watching the whole season will know that the pigs have been digging up the racing paddock, and this has been causing a lot of problems for the league. And so their temporary solution is to put the pigs in the back garden. And although they don't want the back garden to be dug up either, it's slightly less important than the racing paddock. So let's see if Hoshi and the others can behave themselves a bit and extend their time in the back garden. The second to last race begins, and Smalls, Ginger and Hoshi get out nicely here as they approach the first hurdle. They clear it really nicely and they're going to hit the water at the same time. All of them don't hesitate, but Piggy Smalls especially does well there, and he's going to get a quick time, I think, and he does at 11:08, and it's a course record. A smidge over 11 seconds is a very impressive performance on this water track, and Piggy Smalls has got sick of coming third, and he's decided to throw in a course record at the pigs and really get them going. The USA has put in a solid performance to make sure they're still relevant in this season, and they've reminded Hoshi and Ginger that they're still there. The story of Bear Trotsky is a very sad one, and it's come to the point where you could consider this competition a 4-pig race, as Bear's not really even counted in the running anymore. I mean, the last time that she got anything above 4th in the overall standings was season 1, if I'm correct. And she did some solid performances there, but since then her performance has just slid off a cliff, which is really unfortunate for all of us here, as it would make the league a richer experience if Bear bought into the league fully. Anyway, with that, let's go on to the last race. The final race begins, and Bear gets out really nicely there, and so does Pepper as well as they get to the first 8-inch hurdle. Now it's just Bear and Ginger now coming forward, and so is Hoshi, and Bear gets overtaken by both, and now Ginger looks like she's going to win, and she does. And Hoshi gets second. Of course he gets second. He would never get anything less, it looks like, at this stage. Ginger caps off a brilliant round for her, but Hoshi wins the round because he's so consistent. He's taken a leaf out of Ginger's book for once and realises that you just need to stay in the top 2 pigs as much as possible, and the round is yours. So an awesome performance from both Ginger and Hoshi. Well, round 3 has really changed the standings. Piggy Smalls drops now into 3rd place after a good but not good enough performance. Meanwhile, Hoshi and Ginger climb up the table, and there are only 2 points separating the top 2 pigs. That said, Smalls is only 9 points shy of Hoshi's total, so get ready for a really tight season. Please join us back here for the final of Season 4, and if you enjoyed the league, please consider subscribing, even hitting that notification bell, because it really helps us out.